Welcome, everyone, to our deep dive into Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. We're going to be exploring the themes, characters, and even the cultural impact of this beloved story. It's really amazing how this book has resonated with so many people across generations, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. What I find particularly fascinating is how it manages to interweave these universal themes like identity, choice, and the classic battle of good versus evil within this magical world. It's something that speaks to readers of all ages, I think.
It does. It's like right from the beginning when we meet Harry, he's living with the Dursleys, and they're so intent on suppressing any sign of magic. It's almost comical, but also kind of sad.
Yeah, that contrast is what makes it so compelling for me. On the one hand, you've got the Dursleys representing this fear of the unknown and this almost desperate attempt to hold on to a sense of normalcy. And then you have Harry, who is practically overflowing with magic that he's not even aware of yet.
It's like they're trying to squeeze him into a box that he just doesn't fit in. And it makes those little hints of magic, like the owls and those mysterious letters, stand out even more. It's like the story itself is bursting to break free.
Exactly. And then, of course, we have Hagrid's dramatic entrance. He literally bursts through the door and brings this whole other world into Harry's life.
Such a great scene. The way he describes Hogwarts is like a dream come true for Harry, and I'd say for us as readers, too.
Absolutely. Hagrid acts as this bridge between the ordinary world and the magical one, not just for Harry, but for the reader as well.
I love that. It really makes you think about those turning points in your own life where something or someone opened you up to a whole new perspective or experience. And for Harry, that leads him to Diagon Alley, which is just pure magic.
Diagon Alley is really where we see Harry's hidden potential start to shine. He learns about the inheritance from his parents, which completely contrasts with the Dursleys always complaining about money. It's almost a metaphor for how true worth can be hidden beneath the surface.
Like they tried to convince him he was worthless, but he had this incredible potential just waiting to be unlocked. And then there's Ollivanders, where the wand chooses the wizard.
Mm.
Always gave me chills.
It's a very powerful concept, isn't it? The idea that each of us has unique talents, and sometimes the right opportunities or tools find us. It's like those moments when something just clicks and you know you're on the right path. It makes you wonder if we all have a metaphorical wand out there somewhere just waiting to be found.
That's a really cool way to think about it. And then, of course, there's the sorting ceremony, probably one of the most iconic scenes in the whole book.
Yeah, the sorting hat is fascinating. It represents this tension between destiny and free will. On one hand, it considers your inherent qualities, but ultimately, you have the power to make choices about your own path. It makes you think, where do you think the sorting hat would put us?
Oh, that's a tough one. I think it'd be a Ravenclaw, but maybe with a bit of Hufflepuff in there. What about you? Has rereading it for this changed how you think about the houses at all?
I've always thought of myself as a Gryffindor, but I'm starting to appreciate Slytherin a bit more this time around. Not in a dark arts way, but I think that ambition and resourcefulness can be powerful tools if they're used for the right reasons.
That's a really good point. It shows how complex these houses and the characters within them really are. And speaking of complex characters, Snape is a great example. He seems like a classic villain initially, but as we read on, there are hints of something more going on there.
It's true. His motivations are pretty mysterious, and that makes him all the more interesting. It makes you wonder if he's truly an antagonist or if there's more to his story. I think that's part of what makes this book so rereadable. These layers of complexity keep unfolding each time you come back to it.
I agree. And then there's the Mirror of Arised, such a beautiful and poignant symbol. The way it reflects our deepest desires, it's almost like a glimpse into our souls.
It's especially moving for Harry because he sees the family he's always yearned for. It speaks to this very human desire for connection and a sense of belonging, which I think resonates with everyone on some level.
Definitely. Even in a world of magic, those fundamental human emotions and needs are still there.
Yeah.
And speaking of magical objects, we can't forget the central mystery of the Philosopher's Stone.
The Philosopher's Stone is so fascinating because it represents this ultimate power, this ability to defeat death. But it also raises important questions about the cost of immortality and the lengths people will go to for it.
It really makes you think, what would you be willing to sacrifice for eternal life?
Right, and how that pursuit of power can have a corrupting influence on even the most well-intentioned individuals. The obstacles that Harry, Ron, and Hermione face to protect the stone really highlight that struggle between good and evil, between selflessness and greed.
And the way they have to rely on each other, their individual strengths and their friendship, it really emphasizes how important teamwork is and trusting your instincts too. That devil's snare scene is a great example.
Oh, absolutely. It shows how sometimes our instinct to fight back can make things worse. Sometimes the best solution is to pause, think things through, and trust in the resources and skills you already have. It's a good lesson for life, even if we aren't dealing with magical plants.
Totally. And that's just one of the many insightful lessons woven into this story. What other insights have you found from revisiting the Philosopher's Stone with this fresh perspective?
You know, it's really interesting. I'm noticing a lot of foreshadowing for things that happen in later books. It's like Rowling planted little seeds that would grow into something bigger later on. For example, Harry's ability to speak Parseltongue.
Oh, right. That's the language of snakes.
Right.
I remember it seemed odd, but I didn't catch the deeper meaning back then.
Exactly. It's a subtle clue that hints at Harry's connection to Voldemort and the challenges he'll face in the future. It really makes you want to go back and reread the whole series to see how those early details connect to the bigger picture.
Absolutely. The amount of depth and complexity packed into this first book is incredible.
Mm.
It's no wonder it became such a global phenomenon that's still going strong.
It's a story that captured the hearts and imaginations of millions, and for good reason, I think. It offers a sense of escapism, a world where anything is possible, but it also explores real human emotions and experiences. I think that's what allows it to resonate so deeply with people.
Yeah, it's that combination of escapism and relatability that really makes it work, don't you think? You're drawn into this magical world, but you can still relate to the characters and their struggles.
Totally. And I think Rowling's use of symbolism plays a big part in that, like Fluffy, the three-headed dog guarding the trapdoor.
Oh, right. On the surface, Fluffy is this terrifying obstacle, but when you look a little deeper, he represents the challenges we face in life. Those things we have to overcome to grow and learn. And the way to get past him is through music, which is a beautiful metaphor in itself.
It's like saying that even when things seem scary or chaotic, there's a way to find harmony and peace, like finding your own rhythm in the chaos, wouldn't you
Yeah.
say? Exactly. And then there's the mirror of Arised, which we touched on earlier. It's not just about seeing what we desire, but it's about understanding it. Remember that inscription: I show not your face, but your heart's desire.
It's a good reminder that real happiness doesn't come from chasing after superficial things,
Mm.
but from understanding what truly matters to us. And it's interesting how the mirror can be a trap too, like it was for Ron.
Yeah. Ron's obsession with becoming head boy shows how easy it is to get caught up in wanting what we think we should want, rather than what truly resonates with us. It's a valuable lesson in self-awareness and realizing when external validation might not be the best guide.
It makes you wonder if we all have our own versions of the mirror of Arised. Maybe not a literal mirror, but those things we fixate on that might not be serving us well in the long run. And speaking of things that can be misleading, the Philosopher's Stone itself is a great example of how the desire for power can corrupt.
It goes beyond just wanting immortality, doesn't it? It's this insatiable hunger for more. This belief that if we just had that one thing, we'd finally be happy. Voldemort's fixation on the stone is a perfect example of how that mindset can twist even the most brilliant minds.
It's a good reminder that real power doesn't come from magical objects or external recognition. It comes from the choices we make and the values we live by. That's a theme that runs throughout the whole series, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And you can see it reflected in the way Hogwarts itself is structured. Every subject, from charms to potions, represents a different aspect of knowledge and skill. It's like there are many paths to power, and each one takes dedication and discipline.
Just like in life, we have to constantly learn and grow in different areas to become well-rounded individuals. We might be naturally better at some things than others, but it's that journey of learning and pushing ourselves that shapes who we become.
And that's where teachers like Snape play such an important role. He might be strict and demanding, but he pushes Harry to face his weaknesses and develop his potential.
He's like those teachers we all had, the ones who are tough but ultimately helped us grow the most. They saw something in us, even when we doubted ourselves. It's fascinating how Snape's character, like many of the others, becomes more complex as the series unfolds.
There's always more than meets the eye, isn't there? And that's true for the characters, the themes, even the magical creatures. Take the centaurs, for example. They represent this ancient wisdom, a connection to nature that's often overlooked in our world.
It's like there's magic all around us, hidden in plain sight. But it takes a certain perspective, a willingness to look deeper to really see it. And maybe a bit of mystery, too, like with the centaurs and their cryptic prophecies.
Exactly. It encourages us to embrace the unknown, to accept that there are forces at play in the universe that we might not fully grasp. And that's one of the things that makes Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone so captivating. It's a story that always invites us to ask questions, to explore, and to look beyond the surface of things.
It definitely sparks a sense of wonder. Not just about the magical world, but about our own world and our place in it.
It's like Harry stepping into Diagon Alley for the first time. We're invited to see the world through new eyes, to appreciate the magic and wonder that might be right in front of us.
And that's a feeling I think we all long for, whether we're young or old, that sense of awe and possibility, that anything is possible if we just open ourselves up to it.
Absolutely. And that leads us to the climax of the story, the confrontation with Quirrell and the shocking realization that he's been possessed by Voldemort all along.
It's such a tense moment. The way Harry's love for his parents ultimately shields him from Voldemort's attack, it really underscores the idea that love is the strongest force of all.
It's a classic theme that's echoed in so many stories, isn't it? This idea that love can conquer even the darkest forces. And in this case, it's not just about romantic love, it's about the love between parent and child, the love between friends. It's a powerful reminder that our connections with others are essential to who we are.
And that even in the darkest times, there's always hope. That's a comforting thought, especially when we face our own personal struggles.
It's about finding that inner strength, that spark of courage and resilience that allows us to overcome our fears and fight for what we believe in. And often that strength comes from the support and love we receive from others.
And speaking of connections, it's incredible how Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone has connected with people across the globe. This book sparked a phenomenon that goes way beyond just a popular story.
It's become a cultural touchstone, wouldn't you
Yeah.
say? The books, the movies, the fan communities, it's created this whole world that people can escape into and connect with each other over.
And I think that's a testament to the enduring power of storytelling, how a single book can ignite imaginations, foster creativity, and bring people together from all walks of life.
It shows how stories can break down barriers and speak to something universal within us. That desire for connection, for adventure, for a world where magic is real. It's something that resonates with the child within all of us.
Yeah, it's that sense of wonder and possibility that keeps people coming back to Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. It's like a portal to a simpler time when anything felt possible.
And it's remarkable how Rowling manages to capture that feeling without ignoring the harsh realities of life. The story touches on things like loss, fear, prejudice, real human experiences that we all face at some point.
Yeah, it's like she's saying that even in a world of magic, there's still darkness and challenges.
Yeah.
But it's how we choose to face those challenges, how we find the light within ourselves and each other that really matters.
Exactly. And that's where the theme of choice comes into play so strongly. Harry's constantly faced with choices right from the start. When the Sorting Hat asks him where he wants to go to when he decides to face Quirrell and protect the stone.
It's like he's realizing that even though his life has been shaped by events outside his control, he still has the power to make his own choices. And those choices have real consequences for him and the people around him.
Right. And that's a powerful message that I think speaks to everyone. We all have to make choices, some big, some small, that shape our lives. And often those choices demand courage and a willingness to stand up for what we believe in, even when it's hard.
It reminds us that we're not just along for the ride. We're active participants in our own stories.
That's a pretty empowering idea when you think about it.
Oh, absolutely. And it's something that's emphasized through Ron and Hermione's characters, too. They choose to be there for Harry, to support him and challenge him, even when it puts them at risk.
Their friendship is such a powerful element of the story. It shows that we don't have to go through things alone. Finding your people, those who believe in you and have your back no matter what, can make a huge difference.
And each of them brings something unique to the group. Harry's courage, Ron's loyalty, Hermione's intellect, they complement each other so well. It demonstrates how diversity and working together can be the key to overcoming obstacles.
It's a great lesson in teamwork and using different perspectives to solve problems, something we can all use in our own lives, right?
Yeah.
Whether we're working with others or facing a personal challenge.
Absolutely. And that brings us to the impact Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone has had. It's gone way beyond just a story. It sparked so many discussions, creative projects, and even academic research. It's pretty incredible how this one book has connected with people across generations and is still so relevant today. New people are discovering it all the time, and those who grew up with it are finding new meaning in it as adults.
It's a story that sticks with you. It grows and changes as you do. I think that speaks volumes about Rowling's talent as a writer. She created a world that feels both familiar and magical, a world we can escape into but also learn from.
And in a world that often feels pretty overwhelming and uncertain, that's a real gift. It reminds us of the power of imagination, the importance of connection, and the belief that good can ultimately prevail.
Maybe most importantly, it reminds us that there's a bit of magic in all of us, that spark of creativity, that capacity for love and bravery, the ability to make a difference in the world.
That's a beautiful note to end on. So to everyone listening, keep exploring, keep dreaming, and never stop believing in the magic that's within you and in the world around you. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.